Gamers, what's going on? And welcome back. It's your boy Eileo here with yet another account review. So once again, if you want an account review done, make sure you join the Discord and either send me a message up there or just talk in the MSL chat, and hopefully someone can get it to me and we can set up a time and date to get your account review done. Now you do need to have either your account be bounded by Facebook or Google Play, because I can't help with iOS. Because there's no iOS emulator that I'm aware of. But if you want help, even if you're on iOS, just send me a screenshot of your mod box and what you want help with, and I can try and give you information via that way. But other than that, I don't really have any other reliable way to get your account review done, because I don't have any Apple devices and I'm not sure how I would even record that. So without further ado though, we have BimBim's account revisit, so let's go ahead and get this party started. Alright, so BimBim, you have requested quite a list, my boy. Quite a list, but hopefully we can get that taken care of in today's video. So we're going to go right off the list that you sent over here on Discord. The first thing that came up, though, was you're talking about World Boss, how you want to do more damage in World Boss. And, of course, in regular Eileo fashion, to keep the video down, unless it's, you know, a super duper long review, is I've already ahead and went through your mons, and the main thing for World Boss is having light and dark mons. That's number one. So light and dark mons do the most damage in my opinion, and that from what I've seen, not saying RGBs can't do any damage at all, because they can, but light and dark at least seem to do a little bit more for me. Maybe it's just that they're gems, which you do have a decent amount of light and dark mons, but obviously if you can get more, that's always better. If not, just work on the gems that you have for everything that you have for right now. So light and dark mons. Next thing that you need to remember though is make sure you're not having any healers in your squad, which I'm assuming from your rankings that you don't. Just making sure that other people know that as well. The next thing on the list though is, I think your number one issue though is that you have a lot of mons, especially light and dark, but they're just not fully booked up, or they're not booked up at all. Skill books are very, very important in boosting your damage in World Boss, so I implore you to skill book those mons up, even though it's expensive and it sucks to see all that gold just go away. It should increase your World Boss score as well. The next thing on the list though would be just gemming up sets, because a lot of your mons have I would say not even plus 12 sets. There's a couple of plus 12 sets up there, but if it's a really good gem set, just go ahead and max it out, even if it's for no reason at all other than World Boss, because while I'm not sure, I do feel like the mons that do well, at least in my World Boss scenario, they've already have their max gems and they're fully skill booked up. And of course, leading to the next part is variant skill levels. Get those as high as you can for World Boss. If you can farm out that mon, farm them out. But a lot of mons, especially light and dark, you honestly have no control over unless you get like a god pull of mon that is like Leo or Succubus, where you're easily able to pull them between festivals or from an egg. So that's kind of hard to deal with. But enhancements and of course trinkets as well are very, very important. So do keep that in mind. But number one, I would focus on skill books first. See if you just raise skill books up on all of these mons and see if your damage rises from that alone, which it should. Then next up, take a look at their gems. Make sure their gems is as good as you can get them for that time being. If gems are good, enhancements. Enhancements are wonderful. Once again, very costly, but wonderful for raising your score. And then you should be well on your way of keeping up with World Boss and making sure that your other teams, other than your first team, are performing quite similar to that first team. But that's what I have to address about World Boss. So next up though, we're going to add another part of the video over here. So that's it for World Boss. So we're going to move over here to the PvP part that you requested. Alright, so for the next suggestion in concerns to PvP, you just told me to take a brief look at things and see what you're working with here. You already had a prior team set up, which I thought was perfectly fine. I'm definitely not no Nat 3 leaguer at all. Your boy is just a filthy casual. But from my PvP suggestion is another way that you could do another team, which I think you recently just picked her out, which obviously coincides well with what I was going to recommend, is you could run like Light Zephyros. You can keep your Light Leo there. He's already fully enhanced. You just got to get him to Evo 3 in the future. And we'll just drop these two out. But you could run in with Zephyros, your light Leo, and where is she at? She's probably not beefed up right now because you just got her, but obviously Dark Yuki there as an SP Siphoner, plus she also has that sap damage, which is really, really great since the buff, and she's also Dark type, but since she's the only Dark type here, I would keep her tank type and not more of a DPS type because she could be taking a lot of damage, and you don't want your SP Siphoner to die. I mean, you don't want that to happen. But last but not least, where is she at? There she goes. So Light Yuki, like this setup right here, it's very, very similar to mine. It's what I like to call the try-hard build. Yeah, you're not running with a Dark Merlin, but this is just an alternative to what you've been running with before if you come across a team that's kind of stomping you to the ground. So Zephyros can of course apply his resistance down. He also has shock. Dark Yuki is there to mitigate damage by preventing other mons from getting their 5-star skill off, and also applying sap when able to. Light Leo is there hopefully after Zephyros has applied some resistance down to start banging out all kinds of stun action, and then Light Yuki is just the topping on the cake to continue hailing the enemy with shock and preventing them from moving. So I mean, I think this team synergy is pretty well, especially for a team that's not relying on Dark Merlin and only one Light Yuki. I think this is a really good alternative, and while it may not be as strong as a Dark Merlin lead, I mean, it's still a decent lead, so it is what it is. But if you don't have a Dark Merlin, this is a nice alternative to running a team without Dark Merlin. But that was my only suggestion for PvP because I am a filthy casual and I just run a try-hard team, which is just Dark Merlin variant lead and then 2 Light Yukis and a Light Griffin. But it's up to you. There's a lot of creative people out there, especially in PvP, that can whoop my ASS, and that's no surprise at all. But that was my suggestion. But like you said in Discord, you haven't had too much problems with PvP, so that was just what I could see, at least with the teams that you have, of something that you could work with in terms of PvP. If you guys out there though watching the video have any other suggestions for BimBim, feel free to leave a comment below, because there's a lot of pro gamers watching these videos nowadays, and I do appreciate you guys, joining in on the comment section and letting him know, because BimBim is a Advent light and dark Anu fan. I know, crazy, right? But yeah, these are some of his mons. Trying to go through here a little bit slow so you guys can catch more of them. But I think that's a pretty solid team if the one that you're running with isn't working. So let's go ahead and move on though to Golems B11. Alright, so we're over here at B11, and this is the team that you're working with at the moment, BimBim. I'm not sure how good it is. Maybe it's pretty safe, but there's a couple of tweaks I would say that may or may not help you out, so it's of course up to you if you want to test it out. But what I would do in this situation though is I would drop Shadow, even though he does have that resistance, which is very nice to have. I would drop Shadow at least for now, and maybe if you get like another sapper, maybe throw him back in. But from what I can deduct, I'm definitely not a B11 expert, but once again, from what I can deduct, like 2 sappers for B11 and then 2 wave clearers is like poggers. That is like the best method that I've seen and that I've heard of at the moment for clearing out B11, just because it's a little bit difficult with 1 wave clearer. I mean, they work, but it would work so much better if you have 2 wave clearers, or what I'm trying to say is at least 2 mons that can give each other SP, so they can get it off super quickly by that next round and start wave clearing, which Shadow may do that. He may do that, I don't know for sure. Haven't really tested mine in there super duper much, but if he does do that, then keep him in there and just go in with another sapper. But if not, feel free to try this out. So for what I recommend for this is obviously keeping your Fire Jacket there, and then your Wet Artemis, and then where's your Dark Tina at? You can run Dark Tina in there as just another wave clearer. Now these are light mons, so I'm not really sure if your Dark Tina will survive. That's the issue there. So you would need like a strong wave clearer that could at least take the damage of the first wave. So Shadow may be in the same boat as Dark Tina, but at least Dark Tina does have wave clearing properties to her because of her moveset, while Shadow doesn't necessarily have that, even though he does do attack up. So it's kind of like pick your poison here. And then for the other suggestion, since you don't have any other Wet Artemises or a Fire Persephone, what I would recommend is maybe Dark Yuki as the other sapper. While I know her sap is on her 5-star skill, if I can find her, she would mitigate hopefully some of that damage from Tina. That's nice if Dark Yuki can take some of those hits away from Tina, enough for Tina to survive, to start getting her actives off with Fire Jacka. And at the same time, once again, if Dark Yuki gets her SP bar full, she can start spamming some sap out as well. So once you get to the boss, hopefully her SP is full again. If not, on the next turn it'll be full. Apply sap to the Golem. You have Wet Artemis there for the sap as well. And then you also have Dark Tina and Draka doing some nuking. Not the best build in the world, but this could work out. If it doesn't, I mean, feel free just to swap Shadow back in there and just run in with Dark Yuki and Shadow if Shadow can't take the damage. But if he can, then it is what it is. But this is just a suggestion for B11 because I just find that 2 wave clears, like preferably 2 Fire Drakas and then 2 Sappers, is like the hardcore way to go. But a lot of you guys might have come up with teams that are already faster than mine and a lot easier to make than mine. So if you have a B11 team that may work for BimBim, feel free to leave a comment below and let him know and let me know for future videos. But yeah, that's my suggestion for B11. So let's go ahead and move on though to Titans. Alright, so we have your Water Titan team here. It's nice that you have all kinds of Hannes that makes things, or Hannes, that makes things a lot easier. Everything seems fine for now, but what my suggestion is, though, is it really depends on how many baby sharks that you have in terms of Titan placement, because it looks like you only have 1. Okay, that explains why you have another mini cat there. That's a yikers, man. Oh, you got 2 more. But if you were hitting him only, maybe switch out Wood Minicat and put in Baby Shark, but it's really up to you. The only real complaints though I have with this team is just make sure that Hana and them are doing their job properly, and make sure that they're not stealing the exposed weakness from Zubaji or Wood Merlin, because maybe I would move Hana more to the back. It really just depends though if they're stealing it. Because at least in my composition, I have Hana more towards the back so she doesn't steal anything with their, especially Wood Merlin's slow animation. Hopefully Zoo is taking that exposed weakness though. And then the only other complaint I have though is you have your Wood Miho in here who has defense down and stun. Stun is absolutely nothing. I know that she has that resist lead, but why not just have another Wood Fibian in there? So that way you're rocking 2 Wood Garudas, 2 Wood Fibians, and just make your top and your bottom row basically the same. I think that would be more beneficial than that resistance lead. I'm not a Titans expert, but that's what I can pick out from here so far. If you've already tested that they're not stealing any exposed weakness from your other mons, then it's perfectly fine how it is. But those are the only 2 things I would say tweak. Give it a shot and see how they perform. I could be wrong here, but that's the only thing I could see that's up with the Water Titan team. So let's go ahead and move on to the other ones real quick. Alright, next up is your Wood Titans team. Everything seems fine so far. Obviously, in the future, if possible, get some more Fire Sea Strikers, but that's like winning the lottery. It's nice that you have your Pixies there, especially in the bottom row, as added defense down for your Mons, and you're rocking 2 Poseidons. The only things I would change, though, is, I mean, if you could get a Wukong on the top, that would be great, but you may only have that 1 Wukong there. And I'm not sure why you have Cupid at the bottom. I mean, I know Cupid has Zeal, but at least, I mean, call me crazy here, but I've found that Fire Yaksha is actually pretty useful on my bottom right now. And I mean, I could take advantage of her crit damage lead as well. I mean, you have Yuki there, but I have Fire Yaksha at my bottom, and she's my lead because of her skills. But other than that, everything is okay. Obviously, you just want to make sure they're performing as they should be. I do use Fire Cupid over Baby Shark, but Baby Shark and Fire Cupid do the same thing for attack up, so I can understand that. I think the real problem here, though, is just not having enough hard-hitting Fire Sea Strikers at the moment. That's really holding you back. But your composition is very close to mine, and maybe have a couple of tweaks here and there, and you should be pretty much good to go. Like, if you can get another Wukong on the bottom left, that would be absolutely great. I mean, the more Wukongs the better, and eventually move Verde over to the left side if you can. But yeah, that's pretty much my only suggestion for Wood Titan. There's not really much to fix. Just test that out and see if it works for you. If it doesn't, keep what you have right there. But yeah, so far your Titan build is okay for the Wood Titan. So let's go ahead and move on. Alright, so for Alright, so for Fire Titan here, let's see what you're rocking with. You got a Baby Shark for some attack up action, but I don't really think that's necessary. I mean, I would just have a healer there. If you had another Water Indra, he would be great on that left side as another debuffer, even though I know you have Fire Draka, not Fire Draka, but Water Draka and then Water Indy, as well as a Wet Mildew. Not really sure why Water Anu is there, other than his crit rate lead. And then you have a Water Harley, Water Cura, and then a Water Katine. The bottom row, the Dark Cherry. Once again, if you could find a different healer, I mean, I'm not saying that she's bad, it's just really not that optimal. Like, even if you had like a Water Hades, I feel like that would be pretty good in my opinion, because Mildew should be taking some of the slack for the healing. And then on your bottom right, I mean, this looks like it's pretty much all that you have, so only one Water Indy and a Wet Barona. It really just comes to you getting maybe a couple more Mons and replacing maybe Water Anew in the future with a Sparkit or another Harlequin, and then eventually moving that Indra to the left side so you can fit another Sea Striker on that right side for maximum damage. But they have defense down, they have exposed weakness, everyone is pretty much in the same spots. I mean, other than getting lucky with some pulls, there's not too much that could be done here. Not too much at all. Let's see for light and dark. Your right side looks alright. You have attack up, you have defense up, and then also Cupid in there for some heals. And then you have light Wendigo, and then light Siegfried, and then also Cherry and Baby Shark in there for the attack up. And then on the left side you have the debuffing squad. Now, really depends on how your Dark Thors are built. They may just be a little bit too flimsy to do what you need them to do, which would be a bit unfortunate. So I'm not sure if you watched it or not, but if they're dying early, definitely switch those out and see if you can add in other debuffers like Wood Fibian. Once again, there's no point of having Wood Fibian if you're not putting him to use, man. You're not putting him to use. I know you only have one, but if you could pick up two, you could always throw those two in the slots of Dark Thor if Dark Thor isn't surviving, which he may not be. And for the exposed weakness, once again, just make sure that Sig and either Light Wendigo or your other Sig is getting that exposed weakness done. I think other than that, that's pretty much it here, unless you have like Light Nezas or like a Light Sherlock as well, just for more exposed weakness, but the elemental disadvantage, you know. But other than that, yeah, not too much to work with. You have a great idea, great concept of what you're doing in Titans, so that's always nice to know. You have all your debuffers over there on the left side, and you have your Sea Strikers on the right side. Of course, pair them both with healers. Obviously the right one needs some attack up action and some defensive action, while the left side doesn't really need attack up, but if you can at least get some defense up, that's nice to keep them surviving, to continue to debuff for the right side. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my advice for Titans, which really isn't that much, sadly. But it looks like you're doing a similar feat for the dark one. I'm lazy, I keep my light and dark the same, but once again, I'm a casual. It really just depends on your Dark Thors though, if you need to swap them out depending on their performance, because there are some frail boys. There are some extremely frail boys, and you do have a Water Sparkit. Odd. Very odd indeed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I can suggest for now. You do have two Water Drakas as well, so I'm wondering why you're running a Garuda in one and then a Water Draka in the other. We'll never know. We will never ever know. But let's go ahead and move on to your last thing that you wanted me to take a look at, was your clan versus clan defense teams, I believe. So let's go over there to clan versus clan and check them out. Alright, dang, my boy BimBim is #1 in his clan versus clan team. Dang, dude, you moving up in the world. But your clan versus clan team is Water Purse, Dark Sea Star, Water Shiva, Water Leo, and then Light Sea Star. Your next squad is Light Miho, not super evolved, light Snow White, dark Yuki, what's her name? Freaking light Verde. My mind just like split in half. And then also light Victoria. I think this team works, but the real issue here though is that it's just oversaturated with water. In my opinion, I do like having my teams a little bit more not water friendly, but a little bit more mixed, so that way they can't just bring in like 1 or 2 mons and target all of those water mons. Not saying that there's something that could nuke those water mons, but I mean, I think overall it's strong. It's a good deterrent for some players, but for others they're like, dude, this is an easy win. The only way to improve upon this though is maybe swap out your water Leo, not your light Leo, but your water Leo with someone else, maybe like an RGB, maybe like Fire Victoria or someone of that nature. And the same thing for your right side. You could keep Dark Yuki in there, but I feel like 2 SP Siphoners may be overkill, and I honestly don't find Light Vic to be anywhere near scary if she comes out. I mean, you do have Light Yuki, so you could run those as hidden, but obviously if they can't get their SP up as soon as they come out, they're a little bit useless. But I think you have the right idea. It's just maybe tweaking your team out a little bit more, but you're still number 1, so if this is working for you, I don't see any reason to switch it up. But if it's suddenly not working for you, I would add in an RGB, preferably someone annoying like Fire Victoria, to one team, and at least maybe your Wet Wild Fang to the other team, if not any other version of Wild Fang, depending on what you have. And not keep it so mono element that one person could come in with a certain team. I mean, they're going to switch teams anyways, so I'm not saying that your team setups is bad, but you know, even deter them even more is what I'm trying to say right there. So yeah, that's my only suggestion for clan versus clan, and that's pretty much it, BimBim. I definitely hope this video helped you in your quest to become a pro MSL gamer, even though you're on that path. Your mods overall look great. Once again, if you take into account what I said for World Boss, I think your damage should improve, at least some. Same thing for PvP and what I recommended for B11. Those are the things that you may have to test out and try for yourself and see if it works for you. If it doesn't, well, congratulations. Eileo is wrong for once, and that's, you know, that's not once. Eileo is always wrong. His information is only correct like 9% of the time. But yep, that's pretty much it for this account review. BimBim, once again, thank you for allowing me to revisit your account. You are closing in on that level 60 action, so I'm really happy to see that, and really happy to see you continuing to play the game. Congrats on your Light Yuki out there. She is definitely a good minded pick for the Light and Dark selection card. And if you have any other questions, you know where to find me at. Since I've done this account review though, you need to go ahead and slide me over another artwork of MSL Mon so I can use them in the thumbnails again, like Water Mona is the infamous one. But yep, if you guys want an account review done, make sure you join the Discord. And if you guys haven't already, I do appreciate it if you at least consider subscribing. It's free, it costs you nothing but a click. And if you don't like my MSL content or any content that I do in the future, you can unsubscribe at that point. But once again, it's just a few clicks, and congratulations, you will know when my next video is up. And one day, this could be you with account review done. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and see ya.